Hello, welcome back to my channel. And this time I would like to share with you how to interpret poetry. Do you like reading poetry? Well, I would like to start by showing you how to enjoy poetry. I'm going to read the poetry entitled "There is a Garden in Her Face" by Thomas Chapman. There is a garden in her face, where roses and white lilies grow. A heavenly paradise is that place, wherein all pleasant fruits do flow. There cherries grow which none may buy, till cherry ripe themselves do cry. Those cherries fairly do enclose of orient cloth a double row, which when her lovely laughter shows, they look like rosebuds filled with snow, yet them nor peer no prince can buy, till cherry ripe themselves do cry. Her eyes like angels watch them still, her brows like blended bows do stand, threatening with piercing frown to kill all that attempt with eye or hand those sacred cherries to come nigh, till cherry ripe themselves do cry. Can you understand the meaning of the poem? The poem contains metaphor. In this poem, metaphor can be defined as similarities between things that are essentially unlike, but it eliminates the comparative words such as like and thus equates the compared items. Especially in this poem, the metaphor used is extended metaphor. Extended metaphor in the poem "There is a Garden in Her Face" shows that it is used when the poet develops just one analogy throughout the whole poem. The analogy is called an extended metaphor, comparing the features of a woman's face to those of a garden. Now, when you ask a question about what is poetry, a mystical definition of poetry according to Hers in Griffith 2006, poetry is spiritual because it can transform us. Poetry is the most intimate and fertile form of literary discourse. Poetry can deepen our capacity for personhood, our achievement of humanity. It includes insight in which the self both lost and found. It is based on Hers in Griffith 2006. Meanwhile, an American poet, Emily Dickinson, has a famous definition of poetry. The quotation is like this: "If I read a book and it makes my whole body so cold, no fire can ever warm me, I know that is poetry. If I feel physically as if the top of my head were taken off, I know that is poetry. This is the only way I know. Is there any other way?" Well, a poem conveys heightened form of perception, experience, and meaning, or consciousness in heightened language. Poetry shows the intensified of speech. Broken statement refers to the conventions poets use to create poetry, conventions that poets have used for centuries, and this statement is often cited in defining characteristics of poetry. This is based on Brogan in Griffith, still 2006. Well, moving on, what are actually the elements of poetry? The explorations of conventions or elements include how we can recognize, read, and write it. Brogan and Griffiths orders three categories as the elements of poetry. What are they? Number one is sense. Sense is the elements that conveys meaning. Sound is the elements that underscores the musical qualities of language, while sight is the elements that affect the appearance of poems. The three aspects, that is sense, sound, and sight of poetry, are interwoven in any given poem. Now, what can we do to read a poem for the first time? There are several ways that we can apply to understand a poem by reading a poem for the first time. Number one, read the poem through one without stopping. Don't try to understand every word or phrase. Just get the general sense of the poem. The second step is reread the poem, looking up words you don't know. And then read the poem again. This time, identify the normal word order of all the sentences and track down any allusions in the poems. An allusion is reference to historical events and people, to mythological and biblical figures and works of literature. Allusions invite comparisons between the work at hand and items referred to. Yep, those are the steps in understanding a poem if you read it for the first time. There is several steps also if we want to understand and interpret poetry. The next episode, I'm going to tell you more about the elements of poetry. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you are still enjoying the videos from Sri.rwa.Jayantini Learning Channel. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe these channels, and enjoy your day. Thank you.